and welcome to the Lao Jiaos Podcast. This is where we bring you unfiltered and unapologetic take on the news, current affairs, and all the things people pretend to understand. I'm your host, Jing Yong, and with me is fellow Lao Jiao, Amoz. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. I feel like we haven't seen each other in a while. I think mostly my fault lah.
Actually, we're recording this on the eve of Chinese New Year, 2 days before the actual Chinese New Year. Yeah.
Yep.
So, do you have any upcoming plans to celebrate Chinese New Year?
So my wife and I are going to Batam just to run away from the from relatives and the crowd. So yeah, we can't wait for that lah.
As in, over the years, the visits have gotten lesser and lesser. Last time we visit like so many houses. Nowadays, because of family feud, like literally family feud and like things that happen, the visits have gotten lesser and lesser. And I'm actually looking forward to Chinese New Year because it means more time to rest at home, do things that you actually like.
But that also means lesser angpao, right? I guess.
Yes. But I'm really at the age where, because I'm 35, I feel that if I carry on taking angpao, although I'm single, right, I feel very paiseh already. Can you imagine at 30 plus, you go like Chinese New Year, like, hey, angpao, right? Then it should be the time where I give people angpao more than I collect more for my aunties and uncles. Okay, talking about angpao and money, right? Amoz, did you hear about the Singapore budget and the amendments that are happening?
I briefly saw it because I wasn't tuning into it, but I briefly saw some of the changes that were going on.
To give our listeners and viewers some context, some of the main highlights are that there'll be a mix of household support and economic renewal. So to help with living costs, eligible Singapore adults will receive a one-off cost of living cash payment of $200 to $400.
Yep.
All households, which I believe Amoz here, if you have moved into your own house, I don't know if the video is ready yet, will get $500 in CDC vouchers and utility bill rebates will be boosted. Families also get top-up extra Child Life SG credits and expanded preschool student care subsidies. Now, two notable cost of living impact measures for citizens are tobacco taxes. Excise duty on cigarettes and tobacco products has been increased by about 20%, meaning higher retail prices for smokers. Car ownership economics are changing. The PARF rebate is cut sharply with the maximum rebates half from $60,000 to $30,000 and rates lower across vehicle ages. Since I've shared with you all this stuff, right, what is your overall thoughts on the budget and which element do you think stands out to you most?
I think the one that stood out to me the most was the tobacco one. Not that I smoke, but I think I have friends who smoke. The government has been trying to kind of deter smoking or vices for a while, right? And I don't know how much a cigarette pack is nowadays because I haven't smoked in a while, but yes, it's around $15. Thereabout. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think then this will mark up prices to about, I guess, $17 per pack or something. Honestly, it's quite expensive lah, right? Maybe 80 cents, 85 cents per stick.
If you're a heavy smoker, which let's say you take one pack a day, right? You just do the maths lah. It's like $400, $500 a month. It's not cheap. For me, right, what I felt was, I think the talk of the town was the CDC vouchers and the cost of living cash payments. I think personally, right, I was quite surprised that they still continue giving because I thought this was the year that they'll cut back on this CDC vouchers and cost of living vouchers because I feel that it has to stop somewhere. You'll be giving it for 3-4 years. People say that it's due to elections and whatnot. And I've read some articles that some of the scholars and learners say that if you carry on giving, right, people will start expecting that every budget means we must get something, every budget we must get something, which I think is correct lah. As a citizen, I'm happy there's free money, but I think as a country, sometimes I wonder how much money are we making that we can give out so much money.
It kind of questions us like, wow, actually the government actually has a lot of reserves like in hand. It's just that, and you think about it lah, like one person get about 800 cumulatively per year. I saw this TikTok somewhere. They said like one person pays on average about $3,200 of taxes through just GST alone in a year. But the government is giving back $800. So actually it's not a lot of money in that sense lah. It's just a 1/4 difference. I'm pretty sure the government has the math behind it lah. And I think maybe it's a small price to pay in that sense lah.
The artistic side of me or the cultural side of me wants to see more money invested into the arts and culture side lah. I was just talking to a friend a few days ago and we were lamenting like, wow, actually can you imagine like you give $100 culture pass? I believe so many people haven't used, can you imagine you give everybody instead of 100, you just give 200? And then like, wow, so many things you can do. You can buy books, you can go watch more cultural performances. Amoz, since I last saw you, I think the last time you recorded with Tenyang, you did your segment of the week. Can I arrow you to do the segment of the week as well?
The last time I also talked about this, the tiramisu cheesecake one, right? I think another TikTok trend I've been seeing around is the poached chicken one, the no water chicken soup. The one that we put in cabbage, then they put I think other ingredients. Then they don't put water inside. And then they put raw chicken inside and then they steam it for like a few hours or something, like slow cook. I think just naturally like all the zap from all the elements as just extracts out. I thought I wanted to try that, but I didn't have time over the last few weeks. But I will resolute maybe this Chinese New Year to fork out some time to try, and I'll probably give my own review the next time I'm on. But yeah, if you guys have time, just check it out and try lah. Literally, my wife and I, we set out our own dinner or lunch sometimes. So I think this is one of the foods that is on our roster to try lah. Yeah, because it's very convenient. You just buy the raw ingredients, you wash the ingredients, then you put it together, then on the stove lah. Easy.
Before our episode, a word from our sponsor. This week's episode of the Chit Chatter Podcast is brought to you by our amazing friends at Mandai Smoke Co, Singapore's go-to delivery-only smokehouse for Texas-style BBQ delivered straight to your door. They specialize in low and slow smoked meats like 12-hour smoked boneless beef short plate, juicy pork belly, and tender pulled pork, all with that bold, primal flavor from wood-fired pits. No shortcut. Sick of steamboat because you eat that all year round anyway? This is your sign to add Texas flair. Trade standard pork for smoked pork belly and roll into the new year with some boneless beef short plate right now with Mandai Smoke Co. They are open for islandwide delivery every Saturday and Sunday from 10:30 to 8:30 p.m. For CNY, they will be specially open for CNY Eve dinner, 初一 and 初二. Free delivery for orders above $150. Head to mandaismokeco.com now to check the menu and lock in your order. Once again, big thanks to Mandai Smoke Co for sponsoring this episode. Voila! And now, back to the episode. Okay, so on to our main news segment. Now, the first story is really something from a murder crime documentary. And I have to say, it's so saddening and so shocking to hear that this happened in Singapore. And that's the Herbalife homicide case. So before I ask Amoz for his intake about or his opinions about this, to give people some context. A 90-year-old woman, Miss Huang Baoying, died after being starved and tortured for more than 2 months in a Clementi flat, suffered from severe malnutrition, sepsis, and extensive blunt force trauma, with her body weighing just 27.6 kg at autopsy. 9 February 2026, Lim Peng Tiong, 66 years old, pleaded guilty to culpable homicide not amounting to murder for his role in the abuse, and prosecutors said he beat her repeatedly, allegedly on the instructions of an MLM coach. Now, this abuse was linked to a MLM club that sold Herbalife nutritional products, with the victim, her brother Huang Bo Chan, and the coach Chi Mei Wan were involved in. Now, prosecutors told the court that the coach introduced a system of punishment and fines to correct members' behavior that she believed affected product sales and commission, and that this regime escalated into prolonged starvation, confinement, and beatings from Miss Huang, Miss Chi, and Mr. Huang are separately facing murder charges, and their cases are still before the courts. Now, Amoz, what is your reaction when you read about this news?
What the heck? 27.6 kg. That's crazy.
That is madness. This is beyond just skinny already. This is really... I don't think she has the strength to stand up.
It feels like a lot of things were not taken in place, as in like there was no measures and check right? I mean, could they have been the only person who knew about it, and when did this... I mean, it happened in 2021, right? And then were there any measures and checks in place to begin with? Did anyone else know? It's my question.
I think the signs should have been there because they're not living in landed or what. This is a Clementi flat. And if you're repeatedly abused, right, I don't believe that your neighbors wouldn't have heard, you wouldn't have heard sounds.
Correct.
And I believe that if you did it over time enough, the neighbor were over the past 3 months, I've heard this repeatedly. Should I call the police or what? Then my next question will be, before I started my full-time job, right, when I was at the more impressionable age of late 10s or late teens, early 20s, right, I had a lot of friends that sort of try to get me into MLM. And then I actually tried one of them, but luckily I pulled out early enough. So I wanted to ask you, do you have this kind of experience where maybe because of our relative young age, then people, it's very easy to just ask you, hey, we got this product, you want to join or not? They won't say it's a product, they'll just say it's a lifestyle, or they'll tell you that it's I don't know, it's a way to better your life, this kind of thing.
The thing is, how many of these people in MLM truly trust their products, right? Are they just doing it for the sale, or do they actually really believe in the product and believe that it can benefit their loved ones or friends, right? I've tried a few as well. Some are good. I wouldn't say they're 100% good, but you can tell that they are good in terms of the quality of the product, and it actually benefits people. They don't master in every single category, like home care and like supplements and stuff like that. If it's one MLM, I think Atomy is pretty good for their home care products, like their toothpaste, toothbrush, and all that.
How do you say? Not all MLM is bad. Because I think some products are genuinely good, and some some companies are in the market for very long, and people will swear by their products because they have seen good effects from taking them.
Yeah.
Okay, but I can share a bit about my experience because my very, very first job, which very little people know about, I only lasted 3 days. because the company operated a bit like an MLM. I don't know whether it's considered MLM, but in my opinion, it was like that. Okay, so basically they were a marketing team, but they took on whatever their clients gave them to sell lah. So it could be donations, it could be coupons or whatnot. I liked about it that I first joined was that they say, oh, we don't have basic one. How much you sell is how much you take the commission lah.
Full comms
yeah, as in the percentage like the percentage of sales belongs to you lah. Okay, so some of the donation, if you can get people, one person donate a lot, then you take the comm, is like, wow, it's like you sell insurance or what the more, a big sale can make you very good. What I didn't like was that they started playing a bit on like emotions and dreams. Like they will say that, this is the way, right? If you work hard, you can give your family a good like future, then not only you will get good, you can buy a house, your parents can buy a house. They use this back on me, they say, hey, but you promised, right? The first day you came, you say, oh, you want to work hard, you're going to get, you're going to get the dreams that you want, you're going to get your father a car, this kind of thing. Wow, I felt so bad even though I wanted to leave, like, wow, I never had this kind of emotion so conflicted. Like I want, like my mind is telling me to leave, like, but the heart is like saying, you make this promise, why aren't you staying a bit longer? Wow, I agree with you. I think that not all MLA companies are bad, but I think as neighbors and as people living in Singapore, we need to be more cautious and be more worried about the people around us lah. Like if you hear this kind of sounds and hear this kind of like constant screaming or whatnot, I mean, can call the police or alert the grassroots leaders. I feel lah.
I think the problem about Singapore is that we tend to like to live in our own bubble, like you don't disturb me, I don't disturb you kind of thing. Then we're good, kind of thing. But until like shit like this hit the fan, right, then you don't really know like what your neighbor is actually really going through. And maybe your neighbors are just hi-bye friends to you all this while. And I think that's quite troubling to a certain degree also in that sense. Yeah.
I mean to me it's a word of caution for people that are young and impressionable, because I really think a lot of these MLM companies, they like to poach on this kind of people with no work experience, because I think it's easier to mold them, it's easier to influence them to think a certain way lah. For especially now that the job market is not that good, I caution people to be more careful when, let's say, offer seems too good to be true, and then if you really get into this kind of situation where you can get help and where to say no lah. I think that's important. Let's move on to our second news, and that is on 8th of February, a video circulated on social media showing a man violently assaulting a woman at Lucky Plaza in Orchard Road. Now the footage appears to show the man following the woman punching and pushing her, kicking her from behind and knocking her on the ground. He also seemed to attempt to kick her while she was on the floor before losing his balance. Now bystanders reacted. One even threw a shopping basket at the man, and others moved in to check on the woman as a crowd gathered around them. The victim has since been identified as a Filipino national, and the Philippine Embassy and Department of Migrant Workers are assisting her in exploring legal action. Now, witnesses and local reports suggest the altercation may have started after the woman refused a drink offered by the man, but police investigations are still underway to establish the full circumstances. I want to ask Amos, because I didn't see this video. Have you seen this video?
I have. I think in this video, right, there was a crowd circling like the whole commotion lah, and then like everyone was just standing around to watch. But I think the only person that actually came to like salvage the woman was a makcik lah, right? I speak for myself also lah. I sometimes am a bit hesitant to step in, because I feel like, oh shit, what if it becomes my problem, like I have to go and write a report, or what if I get injured, that kind of thing. But that kind of self-preservation mentality also is not good for the wider community, in the sense where there's a lack of protection for people who are vulnerable lah, and I think we owe it to people in the community, the larger community at large, to kind of step up and also do what's right lah. It was concerning to see like people just standing around watching, and then maybe they were shocked genuinely, but also I think we need to step up to kind of be the person to raise our hand to step in lah.
Okay, I'll be honest. If I was in a situation, I wouldn't step in, because if the person really turned violent, right, I think unless you are trained to handle. Unless you are trained in combat, right, where you know how to defend, or you know how to throw off the man, or like you know how to quickly subdue him, I would refrain from stepping in. This whole incident could have been stopped much earlier, because according to the news right, the woman actually refused a drink from a man before he started turning violent right? So I feel that and I feel that this kind of thing it's not like suddenly the man just come up and whack. It's like confirm he offer, the girl refused, and then there were front and back, and then started escalating, and then nobody stepped in, then it started turning violent. So I think maybe the right thing to have been done here is that before the whole situation escalated, right, maybe people should have already stood in and, asked the man to calm down, or like, his friends should have put him back, or the rest should have just, help the Filipino woman, step away from the situation. Before the whole thing escalated to a fight, we should have just, went in and stopped the whole thing.
Yeah. Would you have helped to de-escalate? Maybe help to take away the drink or like...
because I have to be honest, I'm a very typical Singaporean in the sense that I don't step in to, how to say, like people quarrel, this kind of thing, I tend to walk away. Okay, but maybe I think the right way to do it is if you are with friends and you all have like 3-4 people, I think it's easier. I think as one person, I don't have the tea to go there and tell the uncle, hey uncle, 不要叫他喝酒 leh. Okay, the next thing that I cannot understand from this, right, is that is it an anger management issue or like what is it really a thing that when people get drunk they started turning violent?
I feel like this is still a public space after all, right? It's Lucky Plaza, it's outside in public. And if you know that you have a tendency to be violent when you drink, or you know that you have certain kind of reaction when you drink, right, then try to refrain yourself from drinking or something, right? Or drink with like accountability, like have someone like a friend there to regulate you or something. I don't think being drunk is a good excuse lah. What more to someone there's your loved one lah. Like how can you react to like that, right? Like she's your partner, your girlfriend. How can you do that? And nobody should actually really lay finger on a woman lah, to be honest, like that. Yeah.
If people get violent when they get drunk, right, this is not the first time that it happened, It should, especially at his age, right, 66, you should have known that you are like that, okay? And if you don't know, your friends around you should have known that you're like that, because I have very rarely seen people drink alone. But very rare. I see people drink, especially this kind of uncle, confirm got friends that drink with him one. So I feel that, as friends, they should have already, I don't know whether they told him, but they should have reminded him that, you tend to, get violent or get drunk when you get drunk, this kind of thing, and, you should... either refrain from that or like maybe you drink your ass then we know when to hold you back, know when to send you home, this kind of thing. Wow, after that news, I really think it's time to take a break.
And we're going to take a quick break in the podcast to thank our friends at CityMusic, one of Singapore's true pioneer in the music space. CityMusic has long been known as a go-to destination for musical instruments, but they've also been making big headway in audio and video equipment, especially for creators and podcasters. From guitars and pianos to audio interfaces, microphones, and even video recording equipment, CityMusic is true one-stop shop for everything music and content creation related, with options for every budget.
In fact, the audio you're hearing right now is recorded using the Zoom ZD-M1 mic, an amazing broadcast-style microphone that delivers professional quality sound on par with other big-name podcast mics, but at nearly half the price. It's proof that you don't have to overspend to sound great. A huge thank you to our friends at CityMusic, not just for this awesome giveaway, but for being a pioneer in the music space and for making sure creators, musicians, and podcasters always have the right equipment for whatever budget and setup they want. CityMusic, powering your sound, your music, and your content.
The third piece of news. This news, I think the biggest what the fuck moment of the week is that Singapore plans to regulate the sale of blind boxes and similar gacha products after authorities flagged them as posing gambling-related risks, especially due to how uncertainty and rare item chasing can encourage related purchases. Home Affairs Minister K. Shanmugam said the Ministry of Home Affairs and Gambling Regulatory Authority have studied the issue and will introduce new rules on how blind boxes can be offered. Now, I think that the reaction to this news online have been rather split. Some people feel that it's unfair to regulate the purchase, but some say that it seems to be getting quite out of hand, so some regulation is good. So what is your take on this? Or which side are you on, Amos?
I read the article in full. Right? I think what they're trying to say is that it kind of triggers like a dopamine hit. To disclaim, right, I'm not part of this whole culture. Like I don't really care for figurines, and I'm not a collector of any sorts of anything, right? But I think it kind of triggers the same response as as what gambling would because you would want to winning and you want to achieve something like a full set of some collection item. My friends who are blind box collectors and I can see how sometimes they get quite upset emotionally and it's quite bad I'm like, dude, chill it's just a toy, right? But to them it's like, no, I need to get it. No, if I don't get it then I'll be so sad, then I'll be so sad for a few days. Then oh, okay, sure. I am kind of on the government side.
Okay, I see gambling elements definitely. I totally agree. What I don't understand is why do you need to regulate? The reason to regulate gambling, or rather the biggest argument why at that time when they announced Singapore going to open casino, is gambling destroys people's life, right? We have so many families that because you gamble, you go into debt, and then it becomes like you destroy the family, destroy a person. For this blind box, I never seen someone that I 1 month buy 1,000 blind box. I buy until like I need to take on debt so that the blind box thing, I can carry on buying blind box. I haven't seen someone like this yet. Okay, what I've seen is that people take genuine joy, or people genuinely enjoy collecting this thing. And each blind box is, I don't know, $15, $20 kind of thing. I don't see it going that far that people need to regulate. We need to step in because it's destroying people's lives. I buy so many Labubu that Labubu is a different thing. That one has grown so viral that some of the things are legit expensive, and legit some of it can cost $100, $60+. Yeah, but I think blind box in general, if you ask me, I don't see it as much different from collecting, say, art pieces or whatnot. I only see it as like, okay, you need taxes from this. That's why you are regulating this law. That's the only way I see it makes sense.
So you see it as the government's opportunity to kind of earn money from taxing people.
Yes, I see it that way. I always think of the government decision from an economic perspective, like like this is the newest trend. If we do it from this perspective, can it generate good income for the Singapore government? Okay, so I legit thought that they were going to give a small piece of the economic pie to blind boxes because it's getting hyped. It's what people of our generation or younger like pursuing. I'm quite surprised that they decided to go that route of like taxation or like regulation to sort of make sure they have some oversight of this, instead of saying that, okay, we're going to welcome blind boxes business to open shop in Singapore. Not even, how to say, it's not even like a minister of state or like a new minister announcing that. It's K. Shanmugam. It's like it's like the Lao Jiao of all the Lao Jiaos ministers saying this. That is what I feel that, like you 这样严重吗? It's so serious, man. You all need to do it like that, man. Yeah. It's getting over blind box. Okay, so I think that sort of concludes our 3 news. We would like to go with a round of quick fire news for the Alamak meter. A Singapore food and beverage company, Changcheng Holdings, has awarded more than 100 long-serving employees with gold plaques made of 999 pure gold. So each piece weigh around 20 to 30 grams, and they are given to those service of 10 years or more at the group 32nd anniversary dinner. Now, the plaques engraved with the employee's year of service and presented in gift boxes during the company's banquet are estimated to total over $500,000 in value. They say the gesture was to thank staff for their dedication over decades.
Now I know why my Thai funds are expensive. But I think it's smart.
You look at Sing Song, you look at them. Okay.
Yeah.
Every company, I believe, does their own form of company dinner or giving bonuses. But this company that spread so much, right? This is like, how to say, this marketing campaign is even more successful than you take the same amount of money you throw at some social media company or throw at some marketing company and say, hey, you help me do a marketing campaign to make my name better kind. The second news, a fruit seller at People Park's Food Center has gone viral for treating a US tourist badly. So she came under online scrutiny after a New York tourist posted a video describing an unpleasant encounter while trying to buy grapes, claiming the seller was rude and unwilling to explain the products, which led to a heated exchange. Now, the tourist eventually left without making a purchase. Wow, the seller later defended herself, saying prices were clearly stated and accusing the customer of trying to bargain and mishandle the food.
Plain Alamak. This damn xia sui, this one.
Hey, this is, okay, I agree, damn xia sui. And what I don't understand is, I mean, yes, it's small businesses, it's hawkers, and let's say you just sell foods. But why can't you just talk nicely? You say, the price is there. I mean, the price is there. And the price is there, I cannot see. Got difference one, right? You can just say it nicely.
The tone.
Yeah. Just say that the price is there. You can take a look. If they're US tourists, right, 很明显不是新加坡人, the face is not Singaporean, then you still whack. I don't understand this one. Okay, the last one. Property flyers and pamphlets distributed to HDB homes cannot be left publicly visible from April 1, 2026. For all the flyers distributed to HDB flats must no longer be left visible at gates or doors and must be placed directly into residents' mailboxes. That's following an agreement between the Singapore Institute of Estate Agents and major property agencies. Now, agents who breach the rules facing escalating penalties from warnings and mandatory training to suspension from distributing flyers in HDB estates, with records centrally tracked even if agents switch companies in a move aimed at reducing nuisance flyers and improving the living environment for residents.
Smart. No clutter. I hate all these stupid flyers.
Okay, you 差还不要紧 you put never mind, I hate when you never put properly, right? They fly, then like you walk home, then you see on the corridor all these paper flying around like
金座 but not 7 months yet.
Okay, so that was our Lao Jiaos podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, please remember to like and subscribe if an episode that comes out every Friday. But at the same time, if you're into football with the Football Kaki that drops every Wednesday, and our Kopi Bro show where we interview fun and amazing guests from around Singapore every Monday. Now, we hope that everyone has a great week ahead. But remember,
we don't always talk cock, but sometimes we do. Ooh! Ooh! Ooh!